Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tell Me Yours, a storytelling podcast with me, your host, Trey Everett. Hello and welcome to another episode of Tell Me Yours. I am your host, Trey. Apologies for the audio quality of this intro, but we will prevail nonetheless. Thank you so much for listening. I am so excited for my guest today. She is an incredibly talented actress. We had such a great time. She tells a wonderfully, hilariously tragic story, and I hope you really enjoy it. So please, without further ado, welcome to the pod, Brooke Hayley Martin.
But it's still like a long, boring drive. It's all one highway. You just take the 5, you drive straight through no man's land, and then 5 hours later you're at my mom's house.
Perfect.
But yeah. I've been out here for 8 years and just grinding.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions for you. This is not an interview. I'm just so excited because we're connecting today because you're going to tell me a story. And I don't know what story you're going to tell me. Obviously, this is the first time we've ever met. How weird would that be if I was like, are you going to tell the story about the one time you were doing that thing? And you were like, oh my God, yes.
I know. I've been racking my brain of like different stories I could tell. But since you mentioned my TikTok and stuff, I feel like a lot of things I do are kind of relationship based. Like I find a lot of humor in that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell a story of my college boyfriend and the like hilarious, in my opinion, because I have a dark sense of humor, and the hilarious tragic ending of that.
Oh no.
All of his dirty laundry.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'll use a code name. I'll call him Greg. Cool. So that way it's not like
perfect.
Putting him on blast.
If for any reason you slip up, because it happens all the time, I'll cut it out. Absolutely.
Okay. What if Greg was actually his name? And I was like, but it's his code name.
Yeah. He's like, thanks, Brooke.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Because he has probably way more dirty laundry on me, but we won't get into that.
That's fair. Okay. So dark comedy. I'm into it. That's our brand of comedy. We love it. I'm all ears.
Okay. So
real quick, where did you go to college?
So I went to a junior college.
Okay.
It's in Stockton, and I started doing theater there. I've done theater my whole life. Like I did children's theater, and then I did a little bit in high school, and then I started going to like a community college, and I wasn't planning on pursuing acting because then I was like, oh, well, that's a pipe dream, even though my whole life it's what I wanted to do. And then I was in a theater history class, and we had to go see, and then I later went to a musical theater conservatory, which also comes into play in this.
Okay, perfect.
That's where I went after the community college. But as a requirement, we had to go in our theater history class, see 2 shows like a semester or something. Okay. And there was one show, it's so funny talking about this, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was sold out, so we couldn't get it. Okay. But my friend that I was going with,
great start. Yeah.
It was she's now like one of my best friends. But it was like our first time hanging out, and we went to like California Pizza Kitchen, and the waitress thought we were sisters, and we're like, oh my God, no, we're just hanging out for the first time. This is so crazy. It's our first date. But she knew a guy who could get us into the sold out show. Perfect. And it was in a little black box theater, and we sat up in the catwalks. And the catwalks are like, I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're like where all of the lights are around. So it was like the wooden board. So where like people should.
You were in the rafters. We were sitting in the rafters.
Watching the show.
Oh my God, that is so good. I grew up doing theater as well, so I'm very familiar.
Thank you, because I wouldn't have come up with the word rafters. So you really just saved me just now.
No, catwalk is absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That is so funny. You're sitting in the lights.
So and like little plastic chairs up by the lights.
And it's super safe. So safe. Yeah.
Also filled with people up there, like sold out show. extra safe. So I don't know if you're familiar with Midsummer Night's Dream, even though you said you just did theater, so probably. So the character of Lysander is the male ingenue, the one that everyone's in love with. And he has some beautiful, flowery Shakespearean language. And this boy, we'll call him Greg again. He comes out with like blonde hair and blue eyes, like 90s teenage dream. And he's speaking Shakespeare. He's saying all of the words of love. And my cat's gonna cry the whole time.
No, I told you this is a cat friendly place, so
cool. Sorry to who's ever listening. But so he comes out.
If someone's listening and they hate cats, they can stop listening. I'm okay with that.
And 3 followers left just now. But so he comes out as Lysander and he's speaking like this language of love, and it was love at first sight for me. I was like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? I was so enamored. And year went on and I wasn't doing any theater yet. And then I was so the friend who helped my friend was starting to like help us get into the theater program, so it became an option.
Cool.
And I got to be a stage manager for the student directed one acts, and somebody dropped out of one of the shows last minute, so I got put in waiting in the wings with I almost said his name with Greg and another friend who became a lifelong friend. And so at the start of the play, we would like all walk out, like, so I'd wait in the interest with him, and I'd just be like, oh my God, I love him so much. Like I can't talk to him. Like I couldn't talk to him for a year, and he ended up dating some sweet girl. And they were together for a while. And then I remember, so he was in that class, and then he retook the class, because you could take the class as many times as you want, the actual theater class. And it was my first year doing it. And I was like, oh my God, he's in my class and I can't talk to him. And I was like, hey, so I'm in this play, like you should come and you should bring so-and-so. And he's like, oh, we broke up. And I was like, oh,
you're like,
really?
How tragic.
Yeah. I was like, that's so sad. Darn it. And so he came, sorry, I get sidetracked all the time.
I love it.
Good. It'll happen a lot.
This is what it's all about.
I don't know how. I think me and another friend, we started hanging out with them, and he was like really big into smoking pot, so we would go, and I like never really smoked pot before. Okay. So I would go and like smoke pot with him and just be like really high. And like I was so quiet. Like I'm a pretty loud person, and I was just dating somebody right now. That ended Wednesday, but it's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I'm like really shy when I like somebody for like months. I don't know why. I literally sit there and I just have blank thoughts. Like, so, yeah. But other than that, I'm like just loud and I talk nonstop.
Okay, there you go.
If I'm quiet around you, I might have a crush on you. So I would just smoke pot with him, and I would sit there, and I wanted something to happen. And I remember I was like at a party, and I didn't drink, and I lied, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so drunk, I can't drive home, because he lived, and I was like, and you're so close by. So I was like, can I just like sleep in your bed? So I like stayed the night, and like we like just kept inching closer and closer, and then we ended up hooking up. So then a couple months later, I moved to go to the conservatory, and we were just like hookup buddies or whatnot, and okay. I was so into him, and I kept like pushing him for a relationship, and then I moved away, and we're like, all right, well, I moved, so we're gonna call it. And we just kept talking like every day, and we ended up eventually and I would like drive back north to surprise him. I went to school in Santa Maria.
Okay.
And I would drive up north all the time to surprise him. And it was just like, it was a really, for being a long distance relationship, it was actually pretty great. And then I moved home for a year. And the whole time too, because he's also an actor, but I was trying to get him to come to school with me. And I was like, please, like, I think you would really enjoy the program. And he's like, no, I don't think it's for me. And I was like, okay. So I moved home for a year while I prepped to move to LA after I graduated. And he was like, I think I want to audition for the school you just graduated from.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, what? You had this whole 2 years that I was there. Okay. And I was like so upset about this. And but it was fine. I helped him with his audition. I drove him to his callback. I was a saint. I ended up moving to Long Beach, thinking that was Los Angeles.
Perfect.
It is not. It is not Los Angeles. If anybody wants to move to LA, don't move to Long Beach.
Depending on the day, it's not even close to Los Angeles.
It was like, and I was trying to audition. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was getting like little student directed auditions, and I would drive 2.5 hours for a 5-minute audition and then get in the car and drive 2.5 hours home. And then I would go to work. So it would be like my whole morning, I would be driving, like taking a road trip, auditioning for like 5 minutes, including lobby time, and then heading home. And then I was also living in the living room of a 1-bedroom with a couple.
Perfect.
And I was really friends.
Perfect living situation.
I slept on an air mattress. In Long Beach. I slept on an air mattress. It was a queen size air mattress. So I was like kind of off the ground. So that worked.
That's nice. Yeah.
And then the guy I was really great friends with. And then his girlfriend was just loud and needy and annoying, and he worked all the time, and I felt like I was babysitting her in my off time. Sweet girl. Really hope she doesn't listen to this. But it was just like I felt like I was babysitting his girlfriend, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my friend. Yeah. And then they had this like really sickly cat in the backyard, and the cat died during part of it, but it was just like it had severe dementia. It was like it had like horrible ear infections where like flies were surrounding it, and then it would pee and sleep in its litter box outside. Not
ideal.
No, it was incredibly sad. So anyways, my boyfriend at the time had gotten into the school, so I'm living in this like super weird situation, and he's now going through like this super intense conservatory where you're acting.
So you guys made the jump from like we're just hanging out and hooking up. Now we're in a relationship. He finally succumbed to your pressure of getting him into a relationship.
To be fair, he couldn't get enough of me.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And I
obviously,
my most recent situation, a relationship with this guy, it just wasn't in the cards. But I did want like more attention, so I felt myself going down this road, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna call it now.
Good for you.
Thank you. I was like, this hurts so much, and now I'm like, this hurts so much more. I thought out of it. That was a mistake. I would have called and be like, hey, I was kidding. But a little too late for that. Anyways, I got sidetracked.
No, I love it.
So so I kind of jumped a bit. So I pushed him into a relationship that he definitely wanted, and we were exclusively seeing each other. I don't get why people are like, oh, I don't want to put a label on it.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it's like, all right, you want to hang out with me, you want to call me all the time, you get mad if I don't call you back, like you want to see me all the time, you're not seeing anybody else. Like,
I hate to break it to you, that's a relationship.
After 8 months I was like, bro. Like we gotta figure out something here, because this is
good.
Embarrassing. And everyone knew that we were seeing each other, so it wasn't like a secret. Anyways, so after 8 months of that, we were together for then 2 more years, and then after that I moved home. So now we're going into 4 years.
Okay, wow.
So we were together for 4 years, and I was young, so I was with him from 19 to 23.
Okay.
And so I was not the most mature. I've grown up a lot 10 years later. but he was definitely my first love. I had 2 long-term serious boyfriends before him, but this was my first love. So anyways, jump now to Long Beach. We're are entering our 4th year together. It's his first month in school. I'm living in this weird situation. that's really miserable, and I'm waiting tables and I'm really far away from the thing I want to do. And now he's completely immersed in the thing that I want to do. So he's acting, singing, dancing all day, every day. If you're not in class from 9 to 4:30, then you're in a student project or a main stage show from like 6:30 to 10:30, and then also you have like double rehearsals on the weekend plus like
so it's like it's your life at like every aspect of it.
You have Monday off to do laundry and pay your bills and like get groceries. So, and then also homework and meeting with all of your rehearsal partners.
Oh yeah, because you're going to school. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a really immersed program. And I felt like I sacrificed a lot of it when you and I were together so that I could go see him, and it's fine. So anyways, he's there for like a month and everything's great and stuff. And then he like became more lovey and was like, oh my God, because we've been together forever now.
Yeah.
I have 100% trust issues. And I had a friend three-way call me with another friend because he was still living back there. And he was like, hey, I heard that so-and-so, that Greg, had a threesome.
Oh no.
Girls. And I was like, no, he didn't. I was like, Greg doesn't have that kind of game. I was like, I was laughing at it. And the guy who three-way called me, first of all, it felt like Mean Girls. He three-way called me, but it was my best friend on the phone. I think he just wanted for support, but I was like, no, I don't believe that. Oh. I doubt it. And he's like, no, I swear I like heard it from one of the girls. And I was like, okay, that girl wishes. Like, no, that's not the case. And then so I was like, listen, I gotta go. So I don't even call my boyfriend. I call yet another friend who was in the program. Okay. And I was like, hey, I heard this rumor that Greg had a threesome. And he was like, well, oh, no. I didn't hear that. I heard that he made out with this one girl who was one of the girls listed in the threesome. I heard that they had like a party at his house and that they made out. And I was like,
still objectively awful.
Yes.
Way better, right?
Yes. 100% better. Then I was like, all right.
Still terrible. For the record, still terrible. Exactly. Definitely better. Yeah.
And like, so I was just like, all right. But honestly, could potentially be worse because then it's like, well, is there an emotional thing?
Yeah, I get it.
What? I was also just there visiting. Yeah. I went to go with all of them because they all had to go see one of the main stage shows, and I went with all of them to sit and watch the main stage show. So they all saw me. They all saw me in the audience. And it's like, it's not a big school. Like my class graduated 24 people. They about 30 people each year, and there's only 2 years of people going through. Okay. So probably like 60 students total, maybe like 20 teachers or something. Because you have all these different types of classes.
I went to a very like similar style school here in LA, where I went to AADA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like very similar where like each class is maybe 30 people, and there's like 5 or 6 teachers that everyone takes classes with each year.
Did you go through crew or through acting?
Acting.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know actor. I guess I should be asking questions. I just show up at a strange Zoom.
No, I love it.
Like my life.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you don't know anything about me, but that's okay though. That's part of it.
So, anyways, these people see me, and I was talking to now the second friend who was like, "Well, I heard they made out." Yeah. I was like, "Okay." So now I call my boyfriend, and in my Long Beach apartment, I had 0 reception. Like I would have to leave the building. But at this point too, I also don't want to leave my air mattress because I'm depressed.
Yeah.
So I call him and I'm like, yo, hey, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I heard from a couple different people now. Did you make out with this girl? And I don't hear anything. And I was like, thinking that my reception went out. And I was like, hello? Hello? And he's
Oh
like,
no.
I'm here. And I was like, oh God. And he was like, it's true. And I was like, ah, like,
Oh.
sobbing and screaming. I was like, why? Heartbroken. So we're like talking about it. I'm like yelling at him. I was like, I want to know everything. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to find out. And I was like, okay, well, I also heard that you had a threesome.
Oh no.
And he's just quiet. And I was like, hello. And he was like, that is also true.
No, Greg, what are you doing?
This was like an episode of Jerry Springer.
Oh my God.
None already did had his. But so I'm sobbing and I was like, I want answers. I want to know everything. Like, please tell me. I was like, you could have at least invited me. Maybe something I wanted to explore. You took that from me. I was like, call me and break up with me first. Like, I
man.
the whole gambit of emotions. I was so broken. And so he I hope he never hears this. It's fine. I think we're blocked on each other's socials. So
man.
Spoiler alert.
Time heals all wounds, right?
So he apparently they had a party. He was doing uppers and downers and he blacked out. And at that point, I had never blacked out before. And so I didn't think it was a real thing. Later, I blacked out a lot. But so now I know, all right, that could have happened. But there was details. He doesn't know if he wore a condom.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And we had sex after this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, and we had unprotected sex after this. And I definitely had like some kind of infection. I don't know if it was an STI or anything like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is like gross now. Could have just
no. This is the thing. This is it. Like this was your experience. It sucks. I'm so sorry.
My results came back like when so I definitely had like a bacteria infection.
Oh man.
And when I went to the doctor, my results for like anything else came back inconclusive. So I had to get an antibiotic shot in the butt. And it had like those hurt. I don't know if anyone's ever had those before. Those are so painful. And I went and I was like trying to sit back down in my car and I was like, ah. So not only did like my boyfriend cheat on me with the threesome, but also I was in severe pain. And so I called him like all angry that I was in pain and that I spent like $80 at the doctor. And I was like, you owe me money. But like this whole time he was like begging for me back. And I was also very young, but I was so punishing over it. And I just like, every time we talked on the phone and he would beg for me back, I would just punish him like nonstop and crying and wanting answers. And we continued this for like a month. I even made him do like a public Facebook apology.
Oh my God.
Because I was like so mad and I was humiliated and I wanted
Of course, yes. Good for you. That's the fucking least he could have done.
I was vengeful. My Lysander.
Oh my God.
So we were like still working things out and it had been like a month and I know that he had a 3-day weekend, which is rare. So I was like, I'm going to come and visit you. And we had it all set up. And then leading up to it, he's like, no, I have so much homework. Don't come, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, I have my own work to do. Like, I'll bring my own work and stuff. And I'll just like keep to myself, but we'll just like spend some time together. It's been like a month and lots going on. And I was still like kind of punishing when I got there. Because I was hurt. I was so hurt.
Yeah.
I should have walked away, but whatever. So anyways, this might be TMI. He would always want to shower together. Like, and sometimes he'd be like, yeah. And other times he'd be like, no. But like without fail, he would always want to shower together. And I was so sad. And he went for a run. And then he comes back home and I hear him get in the shower. And I was like, something's off. Something's not right.
Oh no.
And in 4 years, I have never went through this fool's phone. Never. I've never had trust issues with him. Like I remember the day I found out, my other friend had asked, like, how do you do it? How do you do long distance? I was like, well, I trust him. I was like, if I didn't trust him, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's 100%. Fool.
Oh no.
So I had never even crossed my mind to go through his phone. I didn't think he ever had it in him. So he jumps in the shower and I grab his phone. There was another girl. There was a third girl now. And this girl, she was awful.
Oh no.
And I'm reading their messages and it was just like, hey, sorry I wasn't so flirty today. I still really like you. That's okay. I really like you too. Brooke's here for her.
Oh no.
He called it a surprise visit. He knew I was coming.
Oh.
He was like, Brooke's here for her surprise visit. It's just going to be a shit weekend. And then she would like invite him over apparently she lived in the same complex too. And she would invite him over all the time for beers. She would use the N-word in it. She is not classy.
No.
Not use that word. She is not allowed. And it was just like how much they liked each other. She, I want to say, also had a boyfriend.
Fucking hell.
Also, one of the girls from the threesome had a boyfriend, and I found him on Facebook, and I paid $1 to send his direct message that and told him the story.
Hell yeah.
I was very vengeful. Yeah.
Yes, of course you were. Because it's fucked up what he did.
No, it was a 4-year relationship.
Totally.
Anyways, so now there's this third girl, and I was like, and he's still in the shower, and I read everything, and I'm shaking, and I don't even know what to do, and I'm like, I was like, I'm just gonna play it cool. I'm gonna play it cool. He will like, I'm not gonna let him know that I know. I'm just gonna sit on this. And he like walks in the room from the shower. I was like, how good. I was like, how dare you do this to me? And I was like, who is this girl? Who is this third girl? I was like, no wonder you didn't want me to come. But I was like, this, how? I was so torn apart. I was sobbing. And I went out with some friends that night. I came back and him and his roommate were having like a party. So I'm like at their party. Apparently he and I hooked up that night. And I remember asking him, like, this was like, I was like, why? Like, why this girl? And he was like, well, because she's fun and you're not fun anymore. Which hurt. Greg. It hurt. And but to be fair, I was punishing him for like a month long straight.
Yeah, because he cheated on you.
Horrifically.
Yes.
It was so public too. Like, yes. So when I graduated, your like class takes like a group, they go on this trip and we all take like a group photo and then they hang that photo on the wall. My photo hangs in the walls of this school. It is not a flattering photo, but it is there nonetheless. Like these people have to look at me every day. Like my sweet face. How could you do that to me? To the girls too. Like, it's not just him. Like these girls know that he's in this. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways. So, and then after I was like, how could he say I'm not fun? I did all these things that night.
Yeah.
But so then I go to leave and he dumps me.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't even break up with him after this. I think I was so broken. I was like, listen, we've been together forever. You're my first love. Like I'm willing to work on this. And broke up with me. And I could not handle it. He ended up dating the third girl for a little bit and then moved on to date this other girl that he like moved to Chicago with and lived with forever. Oh wow. I don't know why. Not insinuating.
I could probably guess.
Honestly, we'll get to the moral. But my crazy ass at the time, because I just couldn't believe it. I was torn apart. I like couldn't let him go. And it was the darkest depression I ever had. I was just like taking like, Jesus Christ, like melatonin like in the morning when I woke up to try and like go back to sleep, and like all the time, because I couldn't face it. And my friend who I was living with at the time, he's a comedian, and apparently I made it into a set where he's like,
oh no.
It's okay, he's the love of my life. But where he said it was like living with a ghost. Like, he's my best friend, and he would try so hard to like make me feel better. And I remember sitting at the kitchen counter with him eating Cheerios and crying into my Cheerios as I'm eating them. I was literally eating my own tears.
Oh no.
But I kept like harassing my ex and calling him, and he blocked me, and I like kept ways to like get a hold of him, because I didn't understand, and I couldn't let it go.
Yeah, I get it.
And I tried for many years to still get a hold of him, because then at that point, I think it just became this, it was just like that unanswered question as to why, and I'll never have the answer. And like, as an adult, I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. And I was not mature in that relationship. And at the end of the day, looking back, had we been together today, had we lived together now, and I think I would not be as driven and as far as I am today. I think it would be miserable. I don't think I actually really liked him. And that's the problem with long distance, is there's so much fantasy. Long distance.
There's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of time for you to live in your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fantasy, and a lot of like when you're doing long distance, you put your relationship on pause when you say goodbye, and then you go and you're continually growing as a person, and you also have this expectation of when you're going to see each other next and what it's going to be like. And then you see each other and it's all like fun and roses. I don't know what it was.
You know that classic phrase, it's all fun and roses.
It's all fun and roses. but it is, and it's so like nice and stuff, but there's no like growth together. No, I definitely feel like I was, at the time of my young life, I was molding myself to him, and I had 2 long-term relationships before him. I immediately jumped into another long-term relationship, tried to do my own thing after that, and then immediately jumped into another long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So having 4 years off this past 4 years has been really great. And I feel like it's been since I was like 28. My last relationship ended shortly after I turned 28. So it was like, I'm 32 in a month, for reference for people.
Yeah. Happy early birthday.
Thanks. I'm a Cancer through and through. But I just feel like I've gotten to know myself and be who I am the most in the past 4 years without having somebody by my side. And I've been super grateful, because I was growing up with other people, and I was like kind of conforming to those other people.
Yeah.
So, God, I feel like I'm giving myself some own comfort now in this new thing.
I love it.
But,
I love it.
But it was just like, I don't want to conform to another person anymore. And I want to continue to be my whole self, and to like love myself and to be my own person. And if that guy from recently wants to try things again, that's fine. I will. I doubt he would listen to this. I think he's so done with me. But hey, if you're out there, you know who you are.
Oh my God, I love it.
I made a mistake, but yeah, I'm feel the most me. And it's funny, because the most me is like the closest to my 12-year-old self. It's funny that now this is therapy, but I've reverted back.
No, I mean, again, this is how people communicate. Like, this is what stories do. I genuinely think that when we're young, we see a partner as someone who will bring us fulfillment. And like, now that we're older, like, we can't have a partner unless we already have that part figured out, and it's never figured out fully. Like, it's always a work in progress, but like, and it's so stupid and cliche because like that's what everyone says, like, you can't love someone else until you love yourself, and you're like, fucking shut up, I get it. You know what I mean?
It's a RuPaul's Drag Race. How are you gonna love somebody? How are you gonna love someone else if you can't love yourself? Can I get an amen?
There you go. Yes. That's so funny. I love it. I think that's the perfect kind of story, and that's what we're after. You know what I mean?
Good. I was kind of nervous to tell this one. I had like a couple others, but
I'll just have you on again. You can tell me something else.
So much. This is definitely the most shaping one of my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. That was perfect. That was great.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Of course. Where would you prefer that I point people towards to find you?
I guess my Instagram.
Okay.
It's at MacDaddyBrooklyn. I'm also I'm also at MacDaddyBrooklyn on TikTok, but I'm most active on Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you have coming up that you're particularly excited about?
No.
Perfect. I love it.
No.
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'm not currently working on any projects. I'll have a movie that should be coming out. Maybe. I don't know when it's coming out. They're in the middle of post-production, but it'll be coming out like the end of the year or maybe next year, called E3. I don't know if the title will change at that point, but I will be in a movie soon.
Do you have anything exciting? No. Oh, I do have a movie coming out.
It's not coming out anytime soon, but it will be.
No, I get it. I will plug your Instagram. I will tell people to keep an eye out for whatever this film ends up being called. And if they change it, then I'll just tell people just to keep track of your Instagram so they can know more. Awesome. Well, I will give you back the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much. This was so great. And yeah, I will look forward to continuing to follow you online. It's going to be great.
Thank you. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Thank you, Brooke, for sharing that wonderful story. We've all been there. I love it. If you want some extra time with Brooke, as always, head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/tellmeyours. You'll get the full conversation with video. It was so great chatting with her. We had such a fun time. So be sure to head over to our Patreon. Check that out. Patreon.com/tellmeyours. If you want to follow Brooke, Instagram and TikTok, she is at MacDaddyBrooklyn. I'll throw some links in the notes of this episode. Be sure to follow her. She's really, really funny. You'll really love her content. If you want to follow us, Twitter and Instagram, we are at TellMeYoursPod. Please be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell us your favorite story, and as always, be kind to each other, and we'll talk soon.